For Mr. Leroy Thornhill, please.
Evening. I'd just like to comment on how nice you're looking this evening, if I may.
Thank you very much for joining us here. My name is Lyle Bignon. I am an occasional interviewer. I do events like this for the Hare and Hounds and festivals across Birmingham and London. And I'm really, really delighted to have been asked to speak to Leroy. I've been keeping it under wraps backstage, but this guy and everything that he was involved in is a very big influence on me. So if I start tearing up at some point, just roll with it. We had the maddest backstage chat. We covered farming. We covered what else did we do? Quite a lot.
I was talking about everything, basically.
We're going to kick off. We're going to keep it pretty free flow, and I hope that you've all got a copy. If not, the lovely Catherine from the Heath Bookshop is at the back of the room, who has copies. And this is, believe it or not, Leroy's first Q&A around the book. I got that right, yeah?
No.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
No, I did do one other one at a festival.
Okay, let's pretend for the purposes of tonight. We're going to go into some detail about the book and about the eras and the chapters and the moments that are encapsulated within it. I wanted to just mention, so Lee will be signing copies of the book after our chat. We're going to talk for about 45 minutes, more or less. There is no curfew, so we could go into the early hours if you guys are okay with that. Lock the doors, please, James. And there's going to be time for questions from the floor as well. So have a think about stuff that you'd like to ask Leroy. Going to kick off. We're here in Birmingham at the Hare and Hounds, one of the best music venues, small music venues in the UK. And I asked you a little bit about your memories of Birmingham and what your connections are. Maybe you don't have to tell me that particular story, but you know, you're we'll come to it. No heckling, please. We'll come to it. But you're an Essex boy. Your formative years, you spent a lot of your time in London, in Essex. The connections with Midlands and Birmingham, what are they?
Well, nothing until the band, really. I mean, I was thinking about this as I was driving up here. Like, I remember the first time, you know, coming up on a tour bus or whatever with, and seeing the Dunlop factory and the RAC Centre, which you'd only ever seen on TV, you know, and it was like...
Where dreams are made.
You know, if you break down, they're the boys are out. You know. But no, it was like... I was thinking about, you know, some of my family, my niece and nephews and stuff, and I think, mate, you ain't even seen your own country. You know, you come to Spain a couple of weeks or a year or whatever, but that was one of the things that's a blessing, really. I mean, yeah, I remember way around loads of cities and towns in your own country, Manchester, you know, going up to Glasgow, Scotland. There's not many places where we didn't really go or pass through, you know, so... Yeah, it was the Birmingham thing. Was again, it was all everywhere. I've always been into football, so I could relate to every sort of place.
You're a Gunners fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Any Blues fans in the audience? Any Birmingham City fans? Yeah. I was actually going to hold that back a little bit, but you brought it up quick. So did you go to a lot of away games as well?
No, never really. I mean, a bit name dropping now, but like Thierry Henry's. His ex-wife was his godmother to my daughter, so he used to babysit for me and stuff. And
wow.
I used to play for the Arsenal ex-professional celebrity thing. So,
nice.
Yeah.
What position?
Striker, top goal scorer as well.
Oh my God! Who would want to go up against? What defender would want to go up against Leroy in the air? Flipping it. So in terms of that Birmingham connection, obviously for a lot of other cities around the UK, you saw it through the prism of a tour bus and through shows, and I think it's part of the reason I was really excited to do this is you are part of the Birmingham electronic music heritage, despite you not being from here, and you know. When you say that there isn't a particularly strong connection, the data that everybody uses these days to see where their fan bases are, I'm pretty confident that you had a big stronghold for the band here, which is why you guys have come through tonight. How was the Midlands viewed for a boy from Essex when you were on the road and touring?
Well, again, I think like I say, in a way, I don't know how many people sort of think that, but we were kind of ignorant to your own country. It wasn't until the rave scene come along. You know, you suddenly have mates who live 5 hours away.
Yeah.
You know, you drive up to the Eclipse in Coventry, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, what are you doing next week? Oh, I'm going to go up to the Eclipse. You know, that's like 3 hour drive.
Yeah.
You know, get off your nut and then 3 hours back.
Or 6, depending. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point, because obviously pre-internet, pre-smartphone, all of that is like a lot of people know places by the pubs. You know, if you're asking for directions, people will give you a pub as a landmark. And I know for a lot of people, myself included, just about, I came in at the tail end of the first wave of rave, or old school as I called it. It's about the clubs. It was the clubs were the landmarks, the brands, whether it was your Flashbacks, your Helter Skelters, etc. And is that how you would navigate your way through?
Well, that opened up the country to all of us, really. I think anyone of our generation knows that. You know, you'd follow the DJs around. If,
yeah.
Oh man, yeah, Carl Cox is at that party next week. It's going to be good, is there? You know, so yeah, raving made the country a lot smaller. You know, I used to hang out in Peterborough half the week with the Shades of Rhythm guys, and so I had a sort of another home there, and then we had Sharky in London, and so yeah, I think, you know, that kind of brought us together as a country, and even the people our age group now. You know, the way we all think is pretty similar. Anyone who's into that scene is normally pretty respectful and tolerant of other people's space and things like that. And man, the closest thing you can get to that now is Mucky Weekender.
Yeah. Okay. That's that interesting point about people travelling en masse from a particular part of the UK for a particular rave. And it didn't matter where it was. You were chasing the vibe. You were chasing the people. I guess the gathering. Just to bring it back around to the book, I wanted to start at foundational stuff with you. What was the driver for you? Because you're obviously sitting on a lot of archival material, a lot of memories, a lot of
crap,
a lot of mad stories, and a lot of what to other people might seem just next level. Where did the idea? How was it born to put the book together?
To be honest, I've been, a long time ago, I suppose 5 or 6 years ago, the idea of like doing it, and I think I've moved something like 8 times different places in 10 years, and I got so sick of like, what's in that box? Oh God, it's a pile of magazines. What's in that box? Oh God, it's newspaper cuttings. You know, I had so much crap, and I just thought, mate, I need to do something with it, you know. And the photos, I thought it's nice if everyone can see stuff that they've never seen before, you know, because, I mean, I know for you lot it's all great, but for me it's fucking boring now, you know. It's like, what do you think of my remix of Outer Space? Are you going to play that?
That was going to be my next question.
You know, and I don't mean to diss it, but it's kind of like, you know, I am just normal. There's only so many times you can do the same thing over and over again, and so it all becomes a bit boring. But it's like, you know, I'm just a normal bod, and I thought, mate, it'd be nice to share it. You know, the time's sort of like flown by, and it all seems like yesterday, but yeah, it was kind of like, mate, it's about time to show some of these pictures and some of the early stuff we got up to in that. It's not rock and roll. It's not my position to sit there and tell stories about other people that are a bit wild and stuff like that. If they want to let you know, they can let you know. And I'm married with a couple of kids.
Responsibilities, yeah.
So I can't really, if I want to stay like that, I can't really.
Do you think what you were saying then about, you know, it's becoming maybe a bit tiring for you, knowing all that stuff is there and seeing it again, and obviously it gets repeated and regurgitated in the media and through fans and etc. Is there an element of catharsis or closure, getting it all in there and putting it out there in the world?
Yeah, I think there is actually. I think there is. It's yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird old thing, man. It's because it's like this ex-Prodigy thing when I put on a flyer and all that. It's like, you know, it's a curse and it's also the best thing ever, you know. But it's like, it's 25 years ago, man. Do you know what I mean? It's a long time ago. It was a long time ago. So for me, it's kind of, you know, it's in the past. Don't get me wrong, it's the best thing I've ever done, apart from having kids and stuff. But like, Yeah, it was. We were just on a journey that kind of started. That's why it's called wildfire. 'Cause it just started and it just went. And we were across the whole planet before you knew it, you know. And it was harder for me to remember the last years of the band than it was the beginning, because when Fat and the Land come out, I mean, we were always in control. Yes, we do that. No, we won't do that. Blah blah blah. But yeah, we just got on an unstoppable snowball when Fat and the Land come out, and it was horrible, really.
I mean, in another sense, from another perspective, you are a custodian and guardian of all of these incredible moments in time, which to a lot of people, as much as you are a normal bod, that's had some significant impact on people's lives, and you know, not to overstate it, but because one of my questions for you is going to be what are the records and the music and the artists that had that profound impact on you, that you know you would love to read a book about their work or see behind the scenes photos, and that, I suppose that's another place to jump to, is right back at the beginning. What were you listening to? Who was forming your musical tastes?
My first ever memory of music was putting it in and playing it. It was 8-track cassettes with Elton John, Dr. Hook and the Stylistics.
Well, I didn't expect that, but it's a good trio.
My earliest memory. And but yeah, I've always just been, I mean, my sisters were punks when I was 10, so I suppose by the time I was 11 I was a little mod with a Parker and everything, going to house parties, drinking cider. By the time I was 12 I was into breakdancing and electro.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I was always into sort of underground or dancing. It was, you went out to dance, you didn't go out for any other reason, you know. We weren't fighters or nothing like that. We were all puffheads by the time I was 16, 17, so we used to go to the local places, just sit in the corner stone and watch the fights and that, you know.
Just while you watch it unfold.
It was like a western. Look at Max, gonna smash that chair over his head.
Commentating.
yeah, to each other. So, yeah, we were always into underground music, and we'd get in a car, you know, be like designated driver this week, and we'd go to Southend or we'd go to London. And,
it's almost like you might have got a little bit of a taste for that travel, and you know, music was taking you places already then. You weren't necessarily to know that it would do the same later on in life, but it sounds like you were very open-minded to genres, movements, cultures.
Yeah. I think every genre. I mean, when Casuals come along, it kind of pulled everything into one. But before that, you had to look. Didn't you? You had to be a rocker, a skinhead, a mod, and you know. So everyone liked every bit of music, but they had to sort of choose a look.
Like tribe, choose their tribe.
Yeah, and that once Casuals come along, that went, and ladies could wear trainers instead of stilettos all the time, and Farrah's, you know, women were wearing trousers and that, and jeans. And it was like, yeah, suddenly, again, like the rave scene, it was sort of pre-rave scene, but it was a unification of young people. And yeah, I think everyone, all my mates liked everything, you know, we like rock, we like hip-hop, we like soul, everything, you know. So
was it quite an eclectic group of, an eclectic taste amongst your friendship group at the time then?
Yeah, music is life, isn't it? It's, and I suppose when we were younger and it was still more valuable, you know, because today it's a shit show, isn't it? You know, let's face it. I mean, I used to go around, like for example, I'd go around Keith's, you know, we'd get stoned and it'd be like, of course I'd heard of Fleetwood Mac, but then he'd play me Stevie Nicks' individual stuff, and you'd never heard it. Or, you know, you'd go around someone's, listen to Dark Side of the Moon, and they had a Bose sound system or Bang & Olufsen, and it just sounded, I've never heard that bit before.
Yeah, tuning into different vibrations on records.
Yeah, sharing it, because, you know, again, it was, you were precious, you held something, you could look at the cover, you could read about people, and I don't know, it was a bit more, it's starting to sound old, but now it's just like, stream, flick through it, don't listen to that one, listen to that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think we're in the playlist generation where often people don't listen to albums in sequence necessarily, and part of that is the way that the tech companies design it, but also there is something massively valuable about going through liner notes, going through album artwork, and really paying attention to the names of the production teams. And
But even now, you know, I don't know, you know, if any of you guys are creative and anything,
you clearly took a lot of your own experience of how you listen to music and put it into the mix with all of your work that you've done. You're not in this for the short term wins.
No, but again, that's like I was saying. I mean, Maxim, he come from a sound system background, so he was into reggae sound systems and ska and stuff like that. And he'd never been to a rave in his life when we met him. Keith was a bit of a little hippie and sort of the rock influence of it. Liam liked ska and stuff. And I was in the sort of rare groove and hip hop. And we're all into everything punk, but that was the thing. You get in the tour bus and someone just, oh man, check this out. Wu-Tang Clan, Wu-Tang, and then
36 Chambers becomes your life.
Yeah.
I hear that.
We're playing with them next month in Holland.
Oh my God. Just taking it back to the book, so a lot of the photographs that are in the book, and there's some incredible shots. In fact, those of you with a copy, I can see some in the front row here. There's a photo that Leroy pointed out very early on, which is taken of the hummingbird.
Yeah.
It's a double-page spread. Leroy's got a black and red top on. Wicked pose. You're in that mad Egyptian, walk like an Egyptian pose. I saw Skepta do it in one of his music videos. In terms of the photographs, what were you sitting on? Loads of negatives, loads of rolls of film, or the processed?
Well, my sister used to tour with us, and she'd take all the pictures. But no, we used to get them developed straight away, sort of thing. Really, I probably have got a few negative.
Few undeveloped. That's the second book, then.
I don't know if I can go through that again.
And when you were selecting the photos for the book, I mean, there's some really extraordinary shots in there. I'm not just blowing smoke. I think it's really, a lot of people can produce a book, and a lot of people can produce photographic books, but getting stuff that is just jumps off the page and stuff that really captures the moment. So what was the selection process when you were going through the photos?
I don't know if I look good, I suppose. No, not many of them. But, no, I don't know. I suppose it was the memories and the fact that I could either relate to them to gigs. I mean, some of them, for example, there's pictures of us in Japan. It's just kind of, man, we were in Japan the first time. So they kind of relate to sometimes the excitement of, realistically, we were like 20-year-old kids going to all over the planet, seeing stuff, meeting royalty, supermodels, actors, actresses, and it was kind of like, so same as it would be for anyone. And,
a bit starstruck, a bit like.
Yeah, and then suddenly it turns around and you're that person that you're sort of excited to see, and you've got people doing it to you, and you don't know how to deal with it. I remember we'd be doing gigs in America and stuff, and people start grabbing you. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
If he don't grab me again, I'm gonna.
Is this whilst you're on stage or passing through, or both?
Well, it depends. Keith and Maxim used to go down the front more than me. I learned pretty early. I leave it to them. But yeah, I mean, there's one story in the book, for example, where we played this place in San Francisco, and it was literally like the Blue Oyster Bar out of Police Academy, and all these handlebar moustaches and we were just like, oh my God, what are we doing? And as soon as you went down the front, everyone started stroking you.
Oh.
I was like,
there's limits.
Yeah. So again, I don't know how many of you have been stroked like that, but kind of first time it can be a bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Security, can we just come make sure that... in terms of your the photos, it was quite a painful process going through it, or was it... it's an obvious question, and maybe a bit naive, but maybe a lot of memories triggered off by seeing the photos or stories you might have forgotten, or stuff that come to light since then.
Yeah, it did trigger lots of memories. It was a really cool experience. I mean, I was finding boxes with ring folders in, full of faxes from MTV, and they were faded and that. I'm like, what the fuck am I carrying this around with me for?
You must have subconsciously done it at the time, kept it because.
Yeah, because we're on in NME, we're in. Loaded, whatever. So yeah, I've got piles of magazines. Half of it, I got my sister at one point to cut the pages out with us in and stuff, you know. But yeah, and again with the photos, it was I don't know, it wasn't that hard to pick them. I got so many, but I wanted the book to be a visual thing, really. The whole idea, when I went to the Orion, it was like, okay, look, I've got a book, and they were like, oh, well, you need another 30,000 words or something, you know, so it's fair enough. But I wanted something that people could pick up and dwell on, you know, and if you, I don't know, if you're a dentist or something, you could read a couple of the stories and look at the pictures, and, you know, you didn't have to read the whole thing in one go and stuff. So, yeah, I wanted it to be a more visual element, really, than anything. And, yeah, the pictures, I don't know, when you think of the amount of places I went, the lack of pictures as well was kind of
that tells
relevant.
a lot of stories, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, we didn't have phones, did we? I mean, the amount I actually found so many pictures where we used to have things like phone wars and camera wars and stuff. Like, oh man, I've got this camera. Next week you're in Singapore, I've got this camera. You know?
Who was that between?
All of us. You get in the van and just kind of, you know, when the phones come out, you just get in the van and say, yeah, hello? Flip up Nokia. Oh man, you got the new fucking Nokia, haven't you? You know what I mean? So it was all wars like that. But I've got all these pictures where I got this remote control camera. So it's like, Leroy in the hotel, we're in Iceland. Taking these selfie things. And it's just like disgusting wallpaper. So there was quite a few of them which surprised me. But it was, when I think of so many things that, if I had a camera at that time.
Sure,
you know?
yeah. Well, that's what I was just going to say, is that that connection between visual prompts give you maybe the space and thought or the recollection to write the words that go along with it. Are there a lot of experiences, moments and memories that you have with your time in the band that aren't documented on film that didn't make the cut or in there?
Oh man, yeah, there's loads. And it's funny because you start thinking about some of them afterwards, you know. Because I got a timeline of all the gigs we'd done and stuff over years, and there was Korea, and I was thinking, Korea? I don't remember Korea. So then I sort of, actually, yeah. And I remember this isn't in the book, but we got there, and the crew went out the day before. So as soon as we arrived, I've sound man, you got any smoke? You know what I mean? You got any smoke? Yeah, come up. So I'm in this room, and suddenly get a knock on the door. I open the door, and there was this woman, she was about this big, like, you need towels? Sorry if I don't mean to offend anyone.
Chatham House rules here tonight, guys.
Hey, I'm from the 90s. So she said, you need towels? I'm like, yeah. Like that. So she goes, and then I think, oh fuck, what have I done? Like, it's turning me to smoke. So it was Nick, mate, the sound guy. He turns up, and I roll a joint, and I'm like, man, I'll just smoke it in the bathroom. If she comes back, just grab the towels. So I remember I had the door open, and I was in there smoking a joint. There's a knock on the door. He opens the door, and there's 3 of them there now. Yeah? Where Giant? What? Where Giant? And I can see him looking out the corner of my eyes, and I'm like, no.
Halfway down your blunt as well.
It's like, oh, he's gone out. Oh, I bring my friends. We want to see Giant.
And you emerge from clouds of smoke from the bathroom.
You know, so that's the sort of thing that's in the book, really. But kind of like,
I thought that story was.
There's a few little ones like that. There was a guy like San Francisco they'd sell out in 8 minutes, like 2,000 tickets, because we wouldn't do big gigs to start with, and we're getting out the van to go backstage, and some dude comes up, and like, man, you need tickets? And Keith's like, yeah, hang on, mate. So he comes back in the van, he shuts the door, he goes, mate, he's trying to sell us some tickets. Yeah, 10 minutes, like, yeah, mate, we'll have 8. So this guy's eyes are going, 8? Like, you know what I mean? He can't believe it. Because they're selling for so much, and wait here. So he runs off around the corner to his mate. By this time, we're all walking to go through the stage door at the back. He's like, I've got your tickets, where are you going? I'm like, we're the fucking band, mate.
I bet he's telling that story at a bar somewhere.
He weren't happy, but it was kind of like, you know, try and check out who the band is before you're selling tickets to people.
Like, where was that? In San Francisco?
San Fran,
The accents might have given it away, but you know. Your book is broken down into chapters of years. Are there years that, and some of them are quite short, obviously, because there's maybe less photographic stuff.
I'm just lazy.
Oh, okay. Is there a particular year that, either from the book or from that 10-year journey, that really jumps out at you as fully memorable?
No, I think every single step of the way was a journey that was a new experience. It was amazing, and we were sort of growing up pretty quick, putting in situations that you didn't normally find yourself in. So it was a journey of growing up. So the Experience album, it was fresh, it was young, it was dance music.